Well, President Biden's domestic agenda may be in jeopardy with West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, who is, of course, a key vote, declaring the roughly $2 trillion social and climate bill, Build Back Better, is dead. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman. Rick, I feel like we've had this conversation before. What was it, a month ago when the senator said he just can't get there? I mean, what's actually changed? What's different this time around?
A strange sense of deja vu, huh? Right. So Manchin is just reinforcing what we already know. Manchin, at the end of 2021, he said he cannot vote for the so-called Build Back Better legislation because it was just too expensive. It had some budget gimmicks he didn't approve of. So that ended it right there. So the talk for now for 2022 has been, well, can Democrats start over and can they salvage part of this? And basically what Manchin recently said is, we got nothing right now. So I guess that means Democrats are going back to the drawing board on the Build Back Better plan. And there's another interesting wrinkle here, which is Senator Lujan of New Mexico, who just suffered a stroke. He's in the hospital. And until he returns to the Senate floor, that means Democrats don't even have a majority in the Senate right now. So if they had a bill that all Democrats agreed on, they still couldn't even pass it if all Republicans oppose it, because they only have 49 votes right now. So Democrats need the senator from New Mexico back in the Senate in order to pass anything, even with that one vote majority with the vice president breaking a tie. So the Democrats are not looking likely to have anything they're able to pass within the next few weeks.
Now, Rick, I guess the optimism, though, is that they'll be able to kind of carve this thing up like a Thanksgiving turkey and kind of get individual provisions of this along a bipartisan basis, even if you lose that one Senate vote. Climate appears to be one of these things where, at least in the House, there's a number of Democrats that are trying to get something to kind of get passed to reduce emissions. Do you see that getting kind of through, or is this just kind of cherry picking and honestly, this is all just kind of a shot in the dark still?
I mean, you highlight one of the problems with the original Build Back Better plan, which is there was just too much stuff in it, a huge variety of stuff, and voters really had no idea what this bill was about. So there was general support for the climate provisions in that bill. So that was over $500 billion in green energy investments and tax credits for wind and solar and electric vehicles and things like that. That could... remember, it's not a question of passing the House. That's the easy part. It's whether they can get every single Democrat in the Senate to vote for this. Joe Manchin did not really object to the climate provisions. It was the social welfare provisions, and in particular, the another extension of that child tax credit for another year or 3 years or 5 years, or whatever what Democrats wanted to do. That was his main objection. Manchin has not given a blank check to the climate provisions, but that might be easier to get him on board. So if Democrats can get organized and stop chasing legislation that has no chance of passing, as they did recently with this voting reform bill, then maybe they could pull something together on climate. But look, the Democrats look disorganized right now, and I would not give better than even odds that they could even pass a smaller bill with those climate provisions at this point.
Yeah, I mean, $550 billion is the price tag we're seeing for climate provisions in that larger bill. So it's not necessarily a small price tag, but we'll be watching to see if, in fact, they go that route. Rick, thanks so much for bringing us that story. Okay.